So tell me if this sounds familiar. You hit your 50s and suddenly everything feels like it got an upgrade, but in the worst way possible. Wrinkles deepen, your knees sound like bubble wrap, and somehow you're tired just from standing up too fast. Well, here's the shocking part. Science says you're not just being dramatic. There really is a turning point when your body hits the gas pedal on aging. And spoiler, that moment is a lot closer than most of us think. Today, we're breaking down the new research that finally reveals when your body starts aging in overdrive, which organs are hit first, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Because hey, aging is inevitable, but suffering through it, not so much. We've all grown up with the same idea. Aging is a slow, steady drip. One year, it's a gray hair, the next, it's reading glasses. Then suddenly, you're that person who says, back in my day, unironically. But turns out, that's not how biology works. Aging doesn't move at a snail's pace, it jumps, like hitting sudden speed bumps in the middle of life. Earlier studies found two major spikes, one around your mid-40s and another closer to 60. But the latest research suggests a hidden midlife storm, ages 45 to 55, where your body basically goes, surprise, you're old now. And honestly, that explains why so many people around 50 suddenly feel like they've aged a decade overnight. But wait, it gets weirder, because scientists didn't just guess this, they mapped it, literally. Here's what happened. Researchers studied over 500 tissue samples from organ donors aged 14 to 68. We're talking heart, blood vessels, pancreas, spleen, you name it. They built something called a proteomic aging atlas, which sounds like a Marvel villain, but really it's a map of how proteins in our organs change over time. And when they zoomed in, boom! Around age 50, the body enters a molecular cascade storm. That's science speak for your organs start aging faster all at once. Think of it like the body's version of an economic recession. One system falters and suddenly everything else follows. But which organs trigger this domino effect? That's where things get really surprising. Top of the list, your aorta. Yep, your biggest artery. Turns out your blood vessels aren't just pipes, they may be broadcasting aging signals across the body. So when they weaken, the message spreads everywhere. Then there are your adrenal glands, tiny organs above your kidneys that pump out hormones like cortisol. Fun fact, they start showing wear and tear as early as age 30, which means stress management in your 20s and 30s? Yeah, that wasn't just wellness Instagram propaganda. By 50, the spleen, pancreas, and endocrine system are also showing dramatic changes. Around midlife, multiple systems throw up their hands and say, we're out. So what does this midlife crash mean for your actual health? Let's connect the dots. Because here's the real kicker. This acceleration isn't just cosmetic. It's when the big risks pile up. Heart disease, diabetes, weakened immunity, even cognitive decline. And here's where it ties to the present. In the US alone, we're watching the 50-plus workforce become the fastest growing group. Companies are literally rethinking retirement ages, while the body is saying, bruh, I need a nap. But the silver lining, now that science knows when the clock speeds up, we can actually prepare for it. And some experts are already pointing out what this means for the future of healthcare. Cardiologists are saying this data could reshape prevention strategies. Instead of waiting until you're already sick, doctors might one day track your proteomic age, basically your body's internal calendar, and intervene before the damage piles up. And no, this doesn't mean a magic anti-aging pill tomorrow, but it does confirm something powerful. The choices you make in your 30s, 40s, and 50s can either soften or supercharge this aging storm. So let's get practical. What can you actually do right now to slow this down? First, start earlier than you think. Waiting until you're 50 is like cramming for a test the night before. It won't work. Second, eat for longevity. More whole foods, healthy fats, less processed junk. Not sexy, but it works. Third, exercise. Cardio keeps your blood vessels young. Strength training keeps your muscles from vanishing. Think of it as investing in your future self. Fourth, manage stress. High cortisol from constant stress literally accelerates aging. And no, doom-scrolling presidential election news at 2 a.m. does not count as relaxation. And finally, train your brain. Lifelong learning, puzzles, social connections, these don't just keep you entertained, they keep your brain sharp. Which brings us back to the big turning point. So here's the takeaway. Aging isn't just a slow fade, it's a series of sudden leaps. And one of the biggest leaps happens right around 50. But instead of panicking, flip the script. Knowing this gives you an advantage, because while you can't stop time, you can hack how your body responds to it. And here's my question for you. If you knew your body's aging storm was coming at 50, what would you start changing today? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading. If you found this useful, hit that like button, share it with a friend who keeps complaining about turning 40, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into health and science. Because in the end, the best way to stay young is to stay informed.